Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speak English with Mishu. I'm Emily, and I'm so happy you're here today.
And I'm Liam. It's always great to sit down and chat with you all. So, Emily, how's your week been?
Honestly, it's been emotional, but in a good way. I pushed myself to do something I've avoided for a long time. I finally joined that community dance class I was always too nervous for. I was scared, awkward, and even thought of quitting halfway, but I stayed. And now I feel more alive than I've felt in months.
Wow, that's powerful. It fits perfectly with today's topic, nothing changes until you do. Think about that sentence. It sounds simple, but it's so deep.
Yes, so many people wait for their life to change magically, waiting for motivation, money, confidence. But the truth is, real change starts inside you. When you change your thoughts, your choices, your actions, that's when your life starts moving forward.
So, in this episode, we're going to dig into that idea. Why do we stay stuck? Why is change so hard? And how can you start shifting, even just a little, to become who you're meant to be?
And of course, we'll practice English the whole way through with new words, expressions, and even a little role play. So grab your tea, take a deep breath, and let's dive in together.
So, Emily, let's talk about why this topic matters so much. Nothing changes until you do. It sounds like one of those quotes people post online, but it's deeper than that, right?
Absolutely, Liam. This idea touches everything: your habits, your goals, even your English learning journey. People often say, I wish I was fluent, or I wish I had more confidence. But then they do nothing. They wait. They hope.
Right, like waiting for the perfect time. But real life doesn't work like that. If you don't change your actions, your results won't change. It's like wanting to grow a plant, but never planting the seed.
Exactly. And the same goes for learning English. Many of our listeners say, I understand English, but I can't speak it. You know what? That can change, but only when you do. When you start speaking, even if it's just one sentence a day, that's where the magic begins.
It's a wake-up call, honestly. If you want better relationships, a better job, a stronger mindset, it all starts with your personal change. That's why this episode is so important. It's not just motivation, it's a message that can change your future.
Yes, and we're not here to judge or make you feel bad. We've both been stuck before, but we've also learned how small steps taken daily can create big changes. That's what we want to share with you today from the heart.
Let's be real for a moment. Most people know what they should do. They should wake up earlier, study more, speak English out loud, eat healthier, be more confident, but something holds them back.
Yes, and that something is often invisible. It's fear, it's doubt, it's comfort. Comfort feels safe, even if it's stopping your growth. You tell yourself, maybe tomorrow I'll change, but tomorrow becomes next week, next month, and nothing changes.
That cycle is so common. I remember when I wanted to improve my English speaking, I kept watching videos, reading tips, but never actually spoke. Why? Because I was scared of sounding silly. I didn't want to make mistakes.
That fear of judgment is real. So many of our listeners feel stuck not because they don't know what to do, but because they're scared to be seen trying. They don't want to feel like a beginner again.
And sometimes it's not just fear, it's also frustration. You try, but you don't see results fast enough. So you quit. You say, maybe I'm not good at this. But the truth is, you didn't fail, you just gave up too soon.
Exactly. That's why today's topic matters so much. We all struggle with change, but once you understand the emotional wall that's holding you back, you can begin to climb it. You can take that first real step forward.
So let's break it down. Why does change feel so hard, even when we want it so badly? Why do we say we'll start tomorrow, but we don't?
One big reason is our brain. It's wired to protect us. It loves routine. It loves comfort. Anytime we try to do something new, something uncomfortable, our brain sends signals like, this is risky. Stay safe. Stay where you are.
That's the logical side, right? Our brain fears discomfort. It wants to keep us in the same loop, even if that loop isn't helping us grow.
Yes, and emotionally, change feels like loss. You're leaving behind the old version of you. That can feel scary, even painful. It's like stepping into a dark room without knowing what's on the other side.
Sometimes it's not just fear, it's identity. You've told yourself, I'm not a confident person, or I'm bad at English. You repeat those beliefs so often, they become part of who you think you are.
And the longer you hold on to those beliefs, the harder it becomes to break free. It's like carrying a heavy backpack every day and convincing yourself, this is just how it is.
But here's the truth. Change becomes possible the moment you start to challenge those beliefs, the moment you say, maybe I can do it. Maybe I don't need to be perfect. I just need to begin.
Beautifully said. And that's what transformation starts, not with big steps, but with small beliefs that shift. One new thought, one new action. That's all it takes to begin changing your life. So now let's talk about what we can actually do. What's the first step when we want to change something in our life?
It starts with self-awareness. You can't change what you don't see.
Exactly. And self-awareness means asking honest questions like, what am I doing every day that's holding me back? Or where am I choosing comfort over growth?
A great way to build this awareness is by keeping a small daily journal. Nothing fancy. Just write down what you did today, how you felt, and what you avoided. Patterns will start to show.
Yes, and when you notice those patterns, don't judge yourself. Be curious. Say, I skipped practice again today. Why? What was I feeling? This kind of reflection is powerful.
It is, because change isn't about forcing yourself, it's about understanding yourself. Once you know your habits and your triggers, you can gently start shifting them.
And it's okay to go slow. Maybe today you just do 5 minutes of English practice instead of an hour. That's still a win. That's still change.
Small steps build big results, so don't wait for a perfect plan. Just begin with one question. What can I do today that my future self will thank me for? So now that we've started with self-awareness, let's go a step further. The next key to real change is creating a clear and simple routine.
Yes, a routine gives your mind structure. When you wake up and already know what you're going to do, even just one small action, it removes confusion and excuses.
Let's take English learning as an example. If you say, I want to practice more, that's too vague. But if you say, every morning I'll listen to a 10-minute English podcast, now that's a routine.
Exactly. And it doesn't need to be hard. The key is consistency, not perfection. When you repeat something every day, it starts to feel natural, even automatic.
And here's a tip. Attach your new habit to something you already do. Like after brushing your teeth, sit down and speak 5 English sentences out loud. It becomes part of your flow.
You can even create a simple checklist. Morning, listen. Afternoon, write. Evening, speak. Keep it visible. Stick it on your wall or phone screen.
Change becomes easier when your brain doesn't have to decide every time. When it's planned and clear, action feels lighter.
And remember, progress is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up, one moment at a time. Real change happens in small moments, repeated over and over.
All right, now let's add another layer to this change journey. If awareness is the start and routine is the structure, then the next step is tracking your progress.
That's a powerful habit. When you track what you're doing, even in a simple notebook or phone app, you give yourself proof that you're moving forward.
Yeah, and progress, even small, keeps motivation alive. Imagine writing practiced English speaking for 5 minutes every day. After a week, that builds confidence.
We often forget our efforts. That's why tracking is important. You might think, I'm not improving, but your notes show that you've practiced 10 days in a row.
You can track in many ways: a journal, a habit tracker app, even a calendar with check marks. What matters is that you see your growth.
And don't just track actions, track your feelings too. How did you feel before and after the practice? Sometimes you'll notice your mood improves just by showing up.
That builds emotional connection to the habit. You realize, hey, I always feel better when I stick to this.
Exactly. Tracking brings self-respect. You start to feel proud. And when you're proud of your small steps, you naturally want to keep going.
So the action step is simple. Pick one thing you're working on. Write it down every day after you do it. Celebrate your effort, not just the results.
So, Liam, we've talked about awareness, routines, and tracking progress. What's the last big step someone needs to make real change happen?
I think it's about community and support. Change feels hard when you're alone, but when you have people encouraging you, sharing the journey, it becomes easier.
Yes, having friends, teachers, or even online groups where you can practice English or share your goals makes a huge difference. You feel less isolated and more motivated.
Plus, when you tell someone about your goals, you create accountability. It's like a gentle push to keep going, even when you want to quit.
And the best part? You learn from others' experiences too. Sometimes their stories teach you new ways to face challenges or keep going when things get tough.
So, if you want to change, find your tribe, join a class, find a study buddy, or connect with a community online. That connection becomes your support system.
Exactly. Because change is not just about what you do alone. It's about who you allow into your journey. Support turns struggle into success.
Emily, even with all these steps, we know change isn't always smooth. People face fears, doubts, and setbacks. How do we help listeners get through those moments?
That's a great question. The first thing is to recognize that setbacks are normal. Nobody's journey is perfect. You will have days when motivation disappears or when old fears come back.
Yes, like the fear of failing or looking foolish. That fear can freeze us in place, making us want to quit before we even start.
But here's the key. Don't let fear control you. Feel it, acknowledge it, and then take action anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite fear.
Another obstacle is doubt. You might think, am I really going to get better? Or maybe I'm not cut out for this. Those thoughts can paralyze progress.
When doubt shows up, remember your small wins. Look back at what you've already achieved, even if it's little. That builds belief.
And setbacks? They're like bumps on the road. You might miss a day or struggle with a difficult topic. It happens to everyone. The important part is to keep going.
Exactly. Progress is not a straight line. It's okay to stumble. What matters is that you get back up, keep practicing, and stay patient with yourself. Liam, let's do a little role play to help our listeners practice what we've talked about today. Imagine someone is feeling stuck and wants to start changing their habits.
Great idea. I'll be the person feeling stuck, and you can be the coach helping me take that first step.
All right. So, Liam, what's holding you back from making changes?
Honestly, Emily, I feel overwhelmed. I want to practice English more, but I don't know where to start. Sometimes I'm scared I'll make mistakes or forget what I learned.
That's very common. Remember, change starts with small steps. What's one simple action you could try today that feels manageable?
Maybe I could listen to a short English podcast for 5 minutes in the morning.
Perfect. And what will you do to make sure you remember to do it?
I'll set an alarm and write it on a sticky note on my desk.
Great. And how will you track your progress?
I'll write it down in my notebook every day after I listen.
Exactly. You're already making a plan and building a habit. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. They are part of learning.
Thanks, Emily. I feel more confident now. I'll start today.
All right, Liam, let's highlight some useful words and phrases from today's episode. These will help our listeners understand and use the ideas we talked about.
Sounds good. What's the first word?
The first word is comfort zone. It means a place or situation where you feel safe and comfortable, but where little or no growth happens. For example, I stayed in my comfort zone instead of trying something new.
Got it. What's next?
Next is self-awareness. This means understanding your own feelings, habits, and thoughts. For example, self-awareness helps me notice when I'm avoiding practice.
Okay, that's important. What about a phrase?
A useful phrase is take the first step. It means to begin something, especially when it feels hard. For example, I'm nervous, but I'll take the first step and speak English today.
I like that. What else?
Accountability. This means being responsible to someone else for your actions. For example, having a study buddy gives me accountability to practice every day.
Great. Any last words?
Yes, setbacks. These are challenges or problems that slow down progress. For example, I had some setbacks, but I didn't give up.
These words and phrases really help explain the process of change.
They do. Practice using them in your own sentences. It will help your English and your understanding of personal growth.
Wow, Emily, today's conversation was really powerful. We talked about how real change starts from within, how nothing changes until you change.
Yes, Liam. We learned that change is not magic or luck. It's self-awareness, small steps, building routines, tracking progress, and finding support.
And most importantly, we learned that setbacks and fear are normal, but they don't have to stop us. We can act even when we feel scared or unsure.
So to everyone listening, remember this: your future depends on the choices you make right now. Start small, be kind to yourself, and keep moving forward.
If you found value in this episode, please subscribe to Speak English with Mishu. Share this with friends who need to hear this message.
And comment below, what's one small change you will make today? We want to hear from you and support you on your journey.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Keep believing in yourself, because nothing changes until you do.
See you next time, friends. Keep practicing, keep growing.